Hello, everyone. Welcome back to St. Louis Teens. I'm here today with Maria Larsen, who is the executive director and founder of Butterfly Haven. Hello, Maria. How are you today?
Hi, it's nice to be with you. Thanks for having me.
All right. So, could you please just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with Butterfly Haven?
So I was a foster parent for 16 years. And when I started fostering, I ran into a situation where I was doing emergency placements, and a lot of kids were transitioning in and out of my home. And I was finding that there was not a lot of resources to help me when I would get them in the middle of the night or a large sibling group to get clothes and shoes and different emergency things that I needed. And so I started collecting these things when they were on sale, and I would sort them out and have them in a spot in my basement. And then I would go to trainings with other foster parents and find that they were having similar situations. And so I started saying, oh, well, I have a crib that somebody donated to me, or, somebody just outgrew this size clothes and they handed them down to me,
Yeah.
or I found this on sale. So I just kind of started it out of my home, and I
Okay.
did that for several years.
Wow.
Officially, kind of in 2006 is when it really started as an organization in that ministry. And then in 2015 is when we organized. So,
Okay. So, wow, that's incredible. First off, I'd just like to thank you for all that you do for our children in need. And then, so could you elaborate a little bit on what Butterfly Haven does now for children in need and foster parents?
okay. So, Butterfly Haven's mission is to enrich the lives of children in foster care or impacted by foster care and families that are facing a crisis situation. So, we're actually twofold. Our first primary focus is children who are impacted by foster care and the families who are taking care of them while they're in foster care, because we know that it takes the whole family to foster children. So we do events to support them. We have resources to help them when sibling groups come in to
Yeah.
be able to accommodate them until their stipend comes in. And then our secondary purpose is we work with families who are going through an immediate crisis. So maybe they've had a house fire or an infestation of some kind, or somebody is hospitalized and they've had to come to the St. Louis area and they weren't maybe expecting it or weren't able to prepare, so they need some clothing or hygiene type things, and we're able to help those families on a just a crisis basis. And so that's what we do. We're open by appointment only. We
Okay.
are a completely volunteer staff. There's typically just one or two of us here. And so we're the ones that are sorting the donations, getting the donations, putting the donations out, meeting with the families. And most of the people that do volunteer on our staff also work full time. So we do this in the evenings and Saturdays, volunteer.
Wow. So
Yeah.
do you receive any help from the government or any other organizations in the community beyond just, the volunteers who give their time?
We did not receive any government assistance. We did not receive any organization assistance from other organizations other than, um, as a community, we have kind of brother and sister organizations in the
Okay.
community that if we have a need that's specific to something that another organization is doing, we'll reach out to them and say, hey, can you fill this need for one of our families? And they've been kind enough to do that. But as far as intertwining and supporting our organization financially, we don't have anybody that does that.
Okay.
So that comes directly from individuals. Sometimes we'll have a group that will do a fundraiser or a drive of some sort,
Yeah.
diapers or pajamas or food, so those kind of things as an individual group. Every once in a while, the church will step up. We've had some really great organizations in the community that have been willing to see what we're doing and support that. So, but on a consistent basis, we don't have anybody that does that.
Okay. So, if you could sort of summarize what your biggest needs are as an organization to help more children, what would those sort of be?
Of course, the number one is always financing
Yeah,
because when
yeah,
working with kids and families who have a need like that and we don't charge them for any of the resources that they get from us, then we have to have funding from somewhere so that we don't have to charge them. So, of course, that's always any not small nonprofit, that's going to be one of their biggest needs. Secondary to that would be volunteers who can come and help sort the donations, get them ready. We do birthday parties, we do special events for the families, we do respite trainings. So there's a lot of different ways that volunteers can get involved. They can get involved without even coming here. We have people that do blankets or that have special talents in different ways that are able to make things or do things and send them here so they don't have to be on site. And then the third way would be with a drive, whether it's pajamas or diapers. Right now, diapers size 5, 6, and all pull ups are in desperate need.
yeah,
Of course, we're going to see some more needs with the crisis that's happening in our community.
yeah.
We're not exactly sure what that's going to be because we're still at the initial stage of that. But there's always something that we have a need for that we're able to say, if you have time and can do a drive or can do a fundraiser for us, of course, that's going to be a need.
So if you sort of had a message for St. Louis teens and what they could do to sort of help your effort. I know you talked about it a little bit. Whether it's donating your time or starting a drive. What else could they do to support your efforts in helping kids in foster care?
Um, Number one, be their friend because
Yeah,
they want to be as normal as possible in a situation that is not very normal.
right.
And so that's going to be really important that they just have somebody that they can be a friend with. Number two is get the word out. If you see a family who's fostering or a family that's in an immediate crisis, let them know that we're available. We are located in Overland. We're pretty central. We're right off of Highway 170. So you can get to us pretty quickly from just about any area of St. Louis City, St. Louis County, St. Charles County. We even do Jefferson, Lincoln County. So, yeah, just get the word out. And then, of course, volunteer. We
Yeah,
love kids of all ages, teens, families. So volunteering is awesome.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for what you're doing with Butterfly Haven, and thank you so much for all you do to help our children in need.